And just like that, we are at the halfway point of the 2022-23 NFL season. How?
Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
What is poppin', y'all? It's me and Cloudboy Bales. Welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports, where it's obviously we talk lots of Wisconsin sports. However, of course, it's weekly Wednesday predictions, as always. So without further ado, if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and let's get to it. The teams on bye this week are the Cleveland Browns, Dallas Cowboys, Denver Broncos, New York Giants, Pittsburgh Steelers, and San Francisco 49ers. So, of course, y'all teams can enjoy the week off. Anyways, on Thursday night, we start off with the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Houston Texans. Houston is likely going to get the first overall pick this year. Or second, they're not really doing well. Philly is the only undefeated team left. They're going to stay undefeated. Philly should win this game. There's really nothing to it. If Philly is playing as good as what they are, they should beat a team like Houston. On Sunday, we have the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Chargers, this is a team that is supposed to be good, but it's not playing good. Atlanta is a team that's supposed to be bad, but they're playing good. These two teams are so weird. So really, I don't even know what to pick here. So originally you sit there and I'm like, I'm going to choose the Chargers because this is a game I feel like offensively, if they come through, they should win. But if the Atlanta Falcons win, would it surprise me? No, because they're actually playing not like a bad team at all, despite not having any talent on their team whatsoever. Weird. Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins taking on the Chicago Bears. The Bears got absolutely blown out by Dallas. Then they actually came back, made it a game, and then got blown out again. And 2 times in one game. That's how bad you are. Miami actually almost lost to Detroit, which actually just says Detroit, despite their record, they have an offense. That just says a lot. But Miami, I feel like, with Tua back, they've really started to play competitively. And I think Miami is going to get another huge win, obviously on the road against Chicago. Next up, Carolina Panthers, Cincinnati Bengals. For anybody that hasn't noticed, of course, Robbie Anderson and Christian McCaffrey were traded. DJ Moore is pretty much your number one target, so they decided to keep him around. I think they want him as the face of the new franchise. But they're rebuilding. Obviously, Baker Mayfield got injured, and the last 2 weeks have been P.J. Walker. If you're Carolina, you probably saw what happened in the last game. He threw a Hail Mary with 12 seconds left, and because of the excessive celebration, backed him up 15 yards, and the kicker missed the extra point to win the game. Ended up going to overtime, and they lost to Atlanta. I think that really says a lot about Carolina's season. Does Carolina need a good quarterback? I don't know, because right now, P.J. Walker's looking really dang good. That's all I'm going to say. Despite being 4th on the depth chart, I think they might actually keep starting P.J. Walker. I love to see him compete. With the Bengals, I don't think they'll beat the Bengals because the Bengals did suffer an embarrassing primetime loss. But I feel like Cincinnati should win this game just because I think they're the better team. But Carolina, P.J. Walker really starts to impress me. I could change my mind. Next up, Green Bay Packers at Detroit Lions. Green Bay is just... I don't know what it is about them. I thought they were going to get blown out by Buffalo, but at least it wasn't a blowout. It was just a loss. So, it is what it is. Detroit, I just feel bad for their fans. I really do. They shouldn't be as bad as what they are. They shouldn't be losing. Their defense is the worst, and their offense is one of the best. So I don't even really want to put them. I think they'll still go for a quarterback because I think Goff is not the guy that can win you a Super Bowl in the long run, but you never know. I feel like Green Bay needs to get back on track, and if they want to make the playoffs and start getting them some emergence, they can show that. I know we can see that but I feel like they need a win to prove that. I'm going to say Green Bay wins, but If they lose this game, I'm pretty much at this point saying that there's no point even in relying on this team for the rest of the season. Next up, Indianapolis Colts, New England Patriots. Now Sam Ehlinger is the starter, and he lost to Taylor Heineke, but I'm not really going to give them anything for it because I don't think the Colts are going anywhere. I think they need to draft a quarterback eventually. That's how I feel. They're not going anywhere with anything. New England, good, promising win. Mac Jones started again, and I feel like they're going to likely see a lot more out of him. I feel like another win out of Mac Jones will definitely give the fan base a lot of faith in him. So I'll say New England wins this one. Next up, Buffalo Bills, New York Jets. Yes, the Jets finally lost a game, after winning 4 straight. And I feel like it's going to start to really go down a little bit. They're going to start to really fall apart, especially trying to find their emergence. Because Breece Hall was really doing everything offensively. And without him, they just couldn't really have that. So if I'm going to be honest, I'll say Buffalo should win this. Because Buffalo is like the best team in the league right now. But who knows? Next up, Minnesota Vikings, Washington Commanders. Minnesota is looking real good. Their only thing that they were lacking was a tight end that could produce. They just traded for TJ Hawkinson. Their offense is going to be so hard to compete against. Their defense is emerging to be great, but this is absolutely a huge deal for Minnesota. Washington shouldn't win this game. Even though Taylor Heineke is actually showing some promise in those 2 games, I don't think it's going to do much because Washington, I don't know. But I'll say Minnesota does win this one just because I feel like they have the better offense. Next up, Las Vegas Raiders, Jacksonville Jaguars. You know what? I want to give Jacksonville the win. The Raiders are supposed to be good, and literally the Raiders did nothing. Adams only had like 1 catch for 3 yards. I mean, come on. That's embarrassing. I'm actually going to say Jacksonville. I just want to see Jacksonville win games. That's the only thing I'm going to just say. Next up, Seattle versus Arizona. Seattle won the first time they played. I say this will be the exact opposite. I think Arizona is going to come out and win this one. I feel we're going to actually, with DeAndre Hopkins now there, that's going to change that's going to change everything. And now, because Hopkins has just been unbelievable ever since he's come back. So for sure, I think Arizona is going to switch it and they'll win this one. Next up, Los Angeles Rams, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's going to be the primetime matchup on CBS. 2 teams that were supposed to be good and then bad. I really don't know what to happen, but I feel like even though Brady has lost a lot of games, I'm going to say this. I'm going to actually say that I think Tampa Bay will actually pull this one off. I'm going to say Tampa Bay wins this one. And then Sunday Night Football, Tennessee Titans at Kansas City Chiefs. If Tannehill's out again and Malik Willis is starting for sure, Kansas City will win. But I think Kansas City is just too good as it is right now. And even though, I think, you got to be on a really hot streak. And so far, Tennessee just has been playing awful in prime time this year. So I'm going to say Kansas City wins this. And then Monday Night Football, Baltimore Ravens at New Orleans Saints. Don't know if Jameis Winston will come back and start. Andy Dalton has been the starter for the last couple of weeks. I don't really think their quarterback situation helps anyways. I feel like Baltimore will still win anyways, just because I think they're in a good situation and the Saints aren't. But the Saints, are getting a little better. We'll see what happens. So I'll say Baltimore. So if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and as always, go football. And finally, before I go, obviously I'll be giving updates every week on where teams stand because that's what's important. So for the AFC, Buffalo leads the division. Baltimore leads the division. Trying to think of all the divisions right now. Tennessee leads the division, and Kansas City leads the division. Not surprised there. For the NFC, Eagles lead the division. Vikings lead the division. Seahawks lead the division. Falcons lead the division. Now that's weird. That's all I'm going to say. But anyways, if you like what you see, comment below if you comment, subscribe, do whatever. And as always, go sports. We'll see you next time.